The HVAC Uncensored podcast is brought to you by Yellow Jacket. 66 years of expertise built into every tool.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the USA.
If you're trying to take your HVAC game to the next level, then buckle your seatbelt, crank up the volume, and try not to be offended. Because you're listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast with Gil Kelley and Kelly McKay. Now, here's Gil and Kelley.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back, bitches, to the HVAC Uncensored podcast, episode 18. Back on schedule, getting these things pumped out. We got a good show for you guys today. As always, sitting across from the same old guy who's there every week, Mr. Kelly McKay. What's up, man?
Did you have a brain fart there for a minute or what?
I was trying to think of something to say. I was going to be dirty, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that.
See, just your natural inclination is to turn dirty. So, but no.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what I was going to say, I was like, every week before the podcast, when I tell Kelly I'm home, he always says, hey, I got to jump in the shower. I said, I love that, man, because he makes sure that vagina is clean for me before he comes to see me. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? He knows I like it clean.
Yeah. I had a couple of days. Can't remember if that was on the podcast or not, but I went through a couple of days here recently where I had some sand in my vagina. For sure. They were not good days. And so I know we all have those type of days, but it just never ceases to amaze me when I have another one. It's just not, for whatever reason, my thinking's in the fucking shit tank, and I just can't. I was struggling to get out of it. So, and I'm sure I probably talked to our buddy Justin, Texas, on one of those days, but I don't know if I ever mentioned it to him, but. And I can't even remember at this point. That's how insignificant it actually was. I can't even remember what it was about, but just a couple of struggling days like we all have once in a while. But bounced back from it, and we're kicking ass. Lots of business still. I hope business is still good for you, Gil. It's still good here. Sold a church job. We've talked about church jobs, a couple of times. Actually, a library job and a church job. So super pumped about that. We have another church that we're bidding. I think it's 4 rooftop units, but they just sit on the ground. So I'm hoping that we'll have a chance to get that job as well.
Nice. Yeah, man, we're busy too, man. We're still booming. I definitely can't complain. Church jobs, man, they're never in the middle. They're either really good or really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Just in my experience, but sometimes they can be good if you find good churches. Like we have a couple of good ones. I've had a couple of videos that I've put out where I've been at one church around here that's a very good account. It's awesome people. I mean, obviously, like anything, they have their processes when you have to get things approved.
Sure.
I mean, that's anything when you have a board of directors or something like that. I get it, but they're good. But some of the ones in Baltimore City are, that's the one I told you where the guy tried to tell me that Jesus told him he didn't have to pay me and shit.
Right.
I'm like, nah, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Jesus told me to beat your fucking ass. So how about that?
Yeah, that's the thing with us around our area is that at least they've always been really good to pay. So we enjoy doing work for them, and it's been good. All the ones we've ever done.
Because you live out in the country.
Yeah, country folk,
good old folks.
Yep. Country folk.
Yeah, I got them city slickers trying to fucking hustle you.
Right.
So, but It's all good. But yeah, guys, it's a good week. Real fast before we move on, like I said, we got a good show for you today. Today is election day when we are recording this, so obviously you won't be hearing this till Friday. But hopefully you guys got out and voted. Just I don't know. It's your right not to. I mean, that's one of your rights as an American citizen. That if you want to, you do. If you don't, you don't. But my dad always told me that you can't bitch about the government if you don't take that opportunity to vote. So, but with that being said, I don't know why, and maybe this is just me being a little bitch, but
Probably.
I'm glad I'm glad that people vote, but what is it on social media that everybody's got to like post a picture with them with the little I voted sticker? Like, okay, I don't give a fuck. Like, what does it matter? Like, I don't know. And like, I just like my news feed was like all of them today.
Littered.
It's like, yeah. Like, what do you want me? You want a fucking pat on the back for doing your civil duty? Like, I took a shit 20 minutes ago. You want me to show it to you? Like, who gives a fuck?
This is the world we live in. It's just different. I think that there's this misconstrued. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we shouldn't even talk about this. But there's this. And fuck, who am I to say anything? Because I have a fucking YouTube channel, and I've done and I have courses and books and stuff. But I guess it is one of the basic human needs is significance. So yeah, there's a small portion of me who wants to be significant, but that's ultimately not. It's not the drive behind why I do anything that I do, other than within my business. There is certain things that I do want a little significance because I think it's good to have a little significance for your leadership, for your influence, within your company. But with social media, everybody thinks that every fucking little thing that they do is important. And so they want to post it and feel the importance of what they're doing. So how do you guys feel about, or how do you feel about it, Gil? I mean, this is, we see it all the time. It's like, and I've got relatives that younger, I won't even say, but I hate it when people post, I'm having a bad day. Okay. Or taking Katie to the hospital, pray for us. Okay. Well, fucking just say what the fuck's wrong. Stop acting like a little bitch and acting like, that's what they want is, well, what's wrong? What's going on? What's wrong? Well, just fucking say it. So that shit drives me batshit crazy. I cannot be the only person who feels this way.
No, I agree. And I believe 1,000,000% in the power of prayer. And I am all on those, on board with those kind of things. But I agree when the people, especially when they're just doing it because it's drama, like, oh my God, I got to take, like you said, little Jenny to the hospital, and, and you find out later what happened. And it's like, she had a hangnail and we couldn't get it off. And, we had to rush her to the hospital. Like, bitch, what? I'm not praying for somebody because they got a jammed fingernail. Like, if you tell me like she got into a car accident and, we don't know how bad she is or something, then that's different, but, or the people who post something because they want an opinion, like, oh my God, my ex-boyfriend did this or blah, blah, blah. He's such an asshole. And they want people's opinion. And then when people don't give them the opinion they want to hear, it's like, well, why don't you just mind your own fucking business? And, something like that. It's like, bitch, you put it on Facebook asking for everybody's fucking opinion. What are you talking about? Like, I know a couple people that do that, and I had to unfollow them because I just couldn't. Yeah. I wanted to scream every time I saw it. Like,
I couldn't take it anymore.
They're just drama queens.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking for attention. So I couldn't take it anymore. I had to start posting shit. And I'm like, I post something, and then what do you know? She fucking puts something else back up there a week later. And I'm like, obviously you didn't read the post, my response to your last post. Go back and read it right now. Stop this shit, and eventually she actually, I don't know if she was reading my post or if things just got better for her. I'd like to hope that I had some some hand in helping her in some way, but she's definitely gotten better and she's starting to grow up. But my God, it'd be like twice a day, some major crisis shit going down. You'd think the world was coming to an end, but
yeah, well,
it's crazy.
I was gonna say people. Yeah, it is, and people need to realize that if you haven't already noticed that I'm kind of an asshole. So when you open that door for me, do not be mad when I walk through it. Like, oh my God, Gil, I cannot believe you said that. Whoa, what the fuck do you expect me to say? You just, like I said, you said, hey, here's the keys to the car, and I drove it. So get the fuck out of here. But
all right, man.
Before we sit here and jammer on, guys, we'd like to welcome a good friend of ours. He's got 15 fucking names. They've changed since I've been friends with him. So it is Mr. Justin, Texas, asshole douchebag Medley. So just kidding, Mr. Texas Medley. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Hey guys, it's a pleasure to be here. And I just want to know how you found out my other names. I haven't even told anybody those.
I looked you up. I did some searching. Some little old lady in Texas told me. She's like, I know that little fucker.
I'll tell you guys right now that there is no place I would rather be on election night than sitting in front of a computer talking with you guys.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. So I want to say just a little bit about Justin is that did we meet through the HVAC Uncensored Facebook group? Was it a post in that group or was it a different post?
It was
like one of the
before you and Gil were doing all of this. It was I think back in January. I reached it.
It was January for sure.
Out to you in pain. In dire pain, because I had been following your channel for a long time. I was one of your first subscribers, and I think I found your video just looking up HVAC business or something like that on YouTube, and you popped up, and it was I think you had 15 views or something. I was like, oh, what a coincidence! This is perfect. And you were talking about the things you were doing at the time, and at the time I was like, man, this guy's got his shit figured out. Man, he's got it going on. He knows what he's doing, and I don't know.
And then he met me. I was a huge disappointment.
No, I really looked up to you a lot, and I aspired to be or have a company a lot like the one that you had, and you helped me a lot. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that, brother.
No more ass kissing.
But no, I just I do feel like no, I just we've become pretty good friends, and we talk several times a week, and he's made huge strides in his business. And so I don't know if you have a certain topics that you want to cover, Gil, but I can tell you this guy went from 300, 400, 500,000 to literally $1 million in like less than probably 8 months, honestly. So he's had tremendous strides in his business. So I think it might be worth sharing some of that, Justin. Like what was holding you back?
Myself.
That
point blank, it was me telling myself that I couldn't do things that obviously we can do, and that nobody can do it as good as me, which was false. There's people that can do it better than me. Telling myself that I couldn't charge what I was worth because I didn't feel like I was worth that. So, I mean, it was nothing more than a bunch of limiting beliefs that were all BS. They were all nonsense. And you helped me get over that. I think the first time you called me, Kelly, it was like 9 o'clock at night. I was on someone's roof taking a flue pipe apart, and it was like 30 degrees outside. And you were telling me about how that sucks, and I need to change that or something.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, for the next 3-4 months when we talked, you were in an attic or talking with the customer or whatever the case. But to go from that to completely turning your business around, I mean, for lack of a better way to put it, I think that's still a pretty good way to put it, is that, I mean, everything has changed significantly. Everything's changed significantly since you first started this, breaking through some of these limiting beliefs.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys talk more than I do. Me and Justin don't talk as much as you guys. Not as much as I would like, but Kelly has told me some of the things you've done, man, and it really is awesome. I mean, it's not even necessarily what you've done so much as the time frame you've done it, man. I mean, and I know the kind of person you are. You're not going to pat yourself on the back, but that is pretty fucking awesome, bro. I mean, it really is what you've done, dude. I'm really proud of you. I mean, nobody deserves that kind of success more than you do. So that's awesome, man.
Well, thank you guys. And I tell people this all the time. It's truly, truly not me. It's really, I mean, sure, I guess I'm the driving force behind a lot of it, but it's not me. I've got incredible people I'm surrounded by, just the best in the world. The guys that work with me, they want this thing to succeed as much, if not more, than I do, and that makes a world of difference.
Yeah, but you put those pieces together, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't take credit. I mean, like I just said, you need to take a little bit of credit. Yes, you're right, but you put those pieces together. So you are the driving force that made those pieces come together to have the outcome.
And because of the person that you are, you've attracted these people into your life. I truly believe that 100%. I believe that because I have some great people too, and I just feel like for whatever reason, I've attracted them. And it was just meant to be.
I really do believe in that.
I keep attracting like transvestites, so that's not saying a lot. Fuck.
So that's what thoughts are things, Gil.
Gil said we were serious for 3.5 minutes. I couldn't take it any longer.
Yes, they are. Right. Shit's getting. It's not church.
Gil gets very uncomfortable with sincerity.
I like to. Never mind. Let me stop. I'm gonna. Yes. I just, we're gonna play a little bit of music so I can think about smoking a joint and banging a chick from behind or something. Never mind, let me stop. Alrighty, back on topic. What were we talking about again? Justin, you're doing great, man.
I'm super proud of you, brother. Big time. Super proud of you.
Well, thank y'all. Seriously, thank y'all so much. We're proud of us too. Like I said, everyone here wants it as much as me, so that makes a huge difference. I was bragging to somebody the other day, and I was bragging to Kelly how I just turned over the phones, and that's just gonna change my world, is getting rid of that phone that doesn't stop ringing.
Oh, I bet. Well, real fast, let's do this, because I mean, we're sitting here talking about, because me and Kelly know you and know who you are, but give the listeners a little bit about yourself, like how you got in the trade, how long you've been in business,
sure.
Blah blah, all that kind of stuff.
So my dad has been doing this about 20 something years, and he worked for one of his best friends since childhood. He started a business in like 1995, and my dad went to go work for him in 2001, I think. And he worked for him all the way until about last year. And that guy retired ultimately, and he actually ended up selling his business. So I am a what do you call it, a grassroots entrepreneur, in the sense that I started my business before he gave me his business, but at the same time, my book of business was nowhere near what his is. So that propelled us really far, really fast, was taking on his clientele. And one of the cool things is my dad actually works for me now.
Yeah, that's cool. That's something we well, I know that Gil worked with his dad growing up, and my dad never did HVAC, but my father-in-law still does, and I worked with him for many years. But
you have to cut this part out.
We're gonna have to edit it or something, because But that's cool that your dad works for you. Is he, how many days a week does he work? Does he do any service calls for you ever? I don't know if I've ever asked you that, or does he strictly just help out on the installs?
He strictly helps out on installs. That's all he wants to do. It's all he cares to do.
Sure.
He doesn't want to be an employee. He wants to get paid like a sub. And
Yep.
he helps one other guy also. So in total, he probably works anywhere from 2 to 5 days a week. He starts getting
Sure.
itchy though if he has to work a full 5 days, and he works maybe 6 hours a day. He's got it figured out, man. He really does. He's a simple man. He
Right.
doesn't require a lot, and he's just a very simple
Sure.
man with very simple needs.
Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's, actually, I envy that, because, it's one of those things that I feel like, and we've talked about this, where when you want super success so bad, it's almost, I don't know what it is internally. Something's pushing me. And I think you feel the same way. And it'd be nice sometimes if that thing would just shut the fuck up, and let me relax for a little while. But
I'll watch my friends who on Sundays they're watching football, relaxing, or I'll look at some of my buddies and they'll be at home just hanging out watching TV. And I wish I could do that oftentimes.
yeah. Instead, you're building something new in the business, or running a service call, or
reading a book, trying to learn
a book. Yep.
Yeah, but you got to think of it, and I do that same thing. But when you're, 55 years old or 60 years old and you're retired, living the way you want to live, and those buddies are still working, that's when you're going to sit back and enjoy what you've built, The other thing I was going to say is what's awesome about what you do for your dad, and I know me and you have talked about this before, is obviously it's always good to be able to give something, but to be able to give that to your dad, to be able to have that opportunity, that you have your business and that your dad can work those 2 to 5 days or whatever he wants to do. Like, I wish my dad was still around, that I could give him something like that. Like, as a son, that's just rewarding, knowing that you're kind of paying your dad back for all the shit he's done for you or given you.
It's so gratifying. I think about that a lot. My dad, he makes it a point to always let me know how proud of me he is and how excited he is about the direction that the company's going. Because keep in mind, he also worked with the other guy. And so he sees the change and he's proud of that change. So to me, that's always meant a lot.
Absolutely. It's something you should be proud of. And that gives me goose pimples, because that's what my dad, man, there wasn't a time that I didn't see my dad. He would just tell me how proud he was of me. And so it's just, I'm like Gil, I've lost my dad too. And we're too young to not have our dad still here. And I know there's people who have lost their dads way younger. So I'm very grateful for the time that I did have with my dad. But I wish it would have been longer.
Logo, it's me, my dad, and one of the guys who started with me. And I don't really see a need to ever change that. Not too much anyways, because that's where it all started.
Right.
The other guy in my logo, he actually had a job working overnight at a grocery store. He'd go in at 10 at night and he'd get off around 7 in the morning, and then he would come help me on an install till whenever we finished, and then go back to work that night, because he believed that this would become something better one day.
Yeah. And he was able to quit that job and go to work full time for you now. So
that's awesome. One topic I want to bring up real fast that I want your guys' opinions. I was talking to somebody today, and I guess it seems like nowadays the whole somebody putting in 2 weeks has become a bad thing. Like, how many times do you hear guys putting in their 2 weeks and companies like don't let the person finish it out, or they keep their last check for something like some kind of bullshit or something. I just feel like you hear those kind of stories more today than you did like when I first got back in the trade or first got into
Kelley
the
can
trade.
probably speak to this. He's had a lot more experience with those dealings.
Stories of people not putting in their 2 weeks. Is that what you said?
No, guys who put in their 2 weeks, and then the company they work for like doesn't let them finish out their 2 weeks, and like it still ends up being a negative experience.
Yeah. So what does your company do in that situation, Gil? Like when somebody puts in their 2 week notice, I'm learning, and I'm thinking that it may not be a bad idea to maybe cut that down to a week or something after 2 weeks has been put in, not out of disrespect in any way, shape, or form. But the bottom line is people just check out. You know, it's like when you get ready to go on vacation. I know this is not the case for business owners and managers, but you know, if you're only a tech or only an installation guy, when you have vacation coming up, it's just natural human nature to just check out early. So I think when people are leaving jobs, they tend to do service calls a little less efficient. They do the bare minimum. If they're doing installs, they're not going to do quite as good a job. It's just like, and it's not necessarily, I don't think, their fault. It's not that they just completely don't give a shit, but they've already made the mental shift to move on. So this is not what's important anymore. You know, doing this job today is not important anymore. So I've always let guys stay for their 2 weeks, but I'm really reconsidering it after having a few guys leave, and as the 2 weeks go on, things get left undone and stuff like that. I feel.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I do the same. I let guys finish their 2 weeks out, and it also depends on the person that is giving it, you know, what their background is. But normally, when the guys give it to me, obviously, you know, I appreciate it, especially if it's a good guy. It sucks to see him go, but I'll ask them like, hey, when can you legitimately start your other job? Like, when are they telling you I need you to start by? And they'll say, oh, well, you know, I wanted to give 2 weeks, but I can technically start there, you know, on Monday if I wanted to.
Right.
And I'll tell them like, hey, if you want to start there on Monday, go ahead. It's cool. I appreciate you giving me your 2 weeks. You know, you're all good here. Or I've had some guys that have had some vacation time, and I'll tell them like, hey, go ahead and take your vacation time. You know, I'll pay you for that. Clean the truck up, blah, blah, blah. And then you can just start your new job after that. But I still make sure that it's on good terms, because I do agree that guys will check out and, you know, they'll do shitty things, because I hate hearing that when a guy has his 2 weeks and then a service call will pop up like a month down the road, and a guy goes out there and find out like, oh, Jimmy was out here and he didn't fucking do any of the shit he said he was supposed to do. So I know you got to avoid those situations, but I just feel like guys are going to move on. There's nothing you can do about it. And to me, I'd rather have a guy give me his 2 weeks regardless than just call me and be like, hey, I quit. You know what I mean? So right. I don't want guys to be penalized for doing the right thing. But I know it's kind of a give and take, and it is hard, you know, making sure that the right things are being done out there before they leave.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is I normally am just going to give them the 2 weeks because I respect them, you know, and they're, you know, they respect me enough to give me 2 weeks. So I appreciate that. And I think that that's worth something. And, you know, I appreciate all their service that they provided for the company up until they decided to leave, you know? So it's just a mutual respect type of deal.
I think it should also be noted, what, you know, the character of that person. Who is that person? You know, it may be a guy that you're like, hit the road. Thank you. Thank God. And it could be a guy you sit there and you want to crawl at their feet and hope they don't leave.
Right.
Hope this is a bad joke.
Yeah. It's just, and I've had both of those things happen, you know.
Well, me and you just talked, Kelley, how I got fucked like not even a couple of weeks ago. Justin, I had a guy that come in, and he's a smart dude. The guy knows his shit. He's an awesome fucking tech. I will give the guy props. but he's cocky fucking douchebag. And to be honest, I hope he listens to the podcast, Steve. But he made the switch to come over. I mean, he contacted us. We didn't contact him. He had worked here years ago before I'd ever even been a part of this company. So that tells you how long ago it was, because I've been here, all in all for like 10, 12 years. He was the first day. He's like, man, I need to make sure I get 40 hours, blah, 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 blah. And wanted us to guarantee it. And I'm like, dude, I can't guarantee 40 hours. I just, I can't do it. I said, but I will do my best to get you hours, especially that you know what you're doing and all that whole spiel. So we schedule him. I mean, we're making sure everybody's getting hours between PMs, and we got busy, like double, triple booking appointments and shit like that. And then he was working too much. He was getting like 50 hours, and he was like, man, I'm missing my daughter's dance stuff. I don't know if I can do this shit. Like bitching about everything. He'd go on a call and he couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And now that we have this schedule fucking maxed out, he says he's putting in his weeks. He's like, I could finish till Friday. And I'm like, well, can you at least give me a week, since I've kind of, stretched myself thin on this schedule, trying to make sure that you get fucking hours. And he's like, no, I can't do that, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I kind of dug in his ass a little bit, which probably didn't help. And then he doesn't call me back. He calls the office manager and says, I'm actually just going to turn my truck in today. And I wanted to call him.
How long did he work there?
Not even 2 weeks. He only got one check. I wanted to call him back. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking piece of shit. I wish you nothing but fucking misery, you fucking asshole. Like, it just seemed like it was just dirty. It was like, dude, we were trying to bend over backwards to fit this guy's needs, which I probably shouldn't have done. And then he just fucked us. And then he's gone. I got all these fucking appointments. So then obviously I'm out there trying to make up this shit, plus the shit I had to do already. And it was just a fucking nightmare of a week.
Shit happens.
Yeah. Last week?
Last week or the week before, 2 weeks ago, right?
Week. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
All right. So, yeah. Let's. I agree. That's shitty. I mean, that's not being respectful, and that's what I was just talking about. I respect these guys. I respect the fact that they want to go. They want more for themselves, more than I could give them at this present moment in time. And some people, if they're not willing to, wait for the greatness that's going to happen, then I'm still going to respect them for making what's their decision. I greatly appreciate what they did for me, and what they did for the company and for their coworkers and everything. But most of the time, I'm just sad that they're going to go. But I'm also happy for them, because if they're bettering themselves, I'm always up for that, because I'm totally dedicated to bettering myself. So how can I fault somebody for wanting to better themselves?
Yeah, agreed.
But that's something like that's total bullshit. So
yeah, but and I make myself available, man. I mean, my guys know that I will bend over backwards. I'll do anything to help them. So when something like that happens, it just
makes it
just pisses you off. But
the good guys don't always. Yeah, good guys can finish last or whatever in that situation.
Yeah, true. But I guess there's a topic you guys want to talk about. I'll let you guys go ahead.
Well, I know that first I want to say, if you own if you're an HVAC business owner, you've got to read, it don't matter what small business that you own or operate, is you need to read Michael E. Gerber's The E-Myth. Because in that book, he talks about being the technician, which is what we all are when we first open our business. We're the doer. We're running the service calls, answering the phones, doing the paperwork, billing, doing the installations, selling jobs. We do it all. And then eventually, if you want your business to grow, you've got to get to the manager position. And that's where Justin has found himself right now, is he's moved from the doer to the manager, which is somebody who creates order out of chaos. now he's working on systems, processes, and I'm not going to share too much here, Justin, but you're a super successful guy. Whether you believe it or not yet, you're far above and beyond what most small business owners are, to the point where, especially where you are right now, moving to a manager position and actually creating structure within your company so you can build the foundation so it can grow. And we've worked through a lot of things, Justin and I, and he helps me too. I've asked him things too that I need help on. So it goes both ways. But I found CEO Warrior in like May of 2017. It was actually like October of 2016, but I couldn't go at that time. I had something going on, or I couldn't afford it or something, because I still wasn't charging enough. But I wound up going and joining, and then Justin just went to New Jersey last month. So do you want to give us some insight on that, Justin, what that was like?
Yeah, that program there's pretty life-changing. It's not what I expected at all. It really wasn't. You and I discussed it a lot before I ever went there, and I thought I had a pretty good idea of what to expect, and to some degree that's what it was. But the amount of knowledge that you come out of that building with at the end of those 4 days is just unreal. I mean, it really is just unreal. You get to hear from Mike Aguilera and Rob Zadati, and just to be able to talk to those guys and hear what they've done, it's really amazing, and something that it really opened my eyes to that I never really give thought to before is, I kind of always had this impression that these big companies, they had these systems and they had these processes because they had money, and they had this way of doing things because they had money, and because they could buy their way to this level. And then you see the other side of it and you realize there's people actually working at this place, tweaking things every day, trying to make it get a little bit better so that it can grow, so they can have a little bit more money, so that they can make it grow, so that they can have a little bit more money, so they can make it grow. And then you just see all the internal workings, and that it's really just people, they're trying to figure it out too, and a lot of times.
Yeah, that I wanted to be there with you in New Jersey so bad, man. I was telling Kelly that I was trying to talk my boss into it, man, but he went to Cabo instead, fucker. But yeah, I really, really wanted to go. I mean, I'm like you, all the stuff that Kelly tells me about it. I mean, that sounds like a really powerful, is not even a strong enough word for it. And I don't even know what you guys know. I just know what I've been told and a few like things that I've read that Kelly has sent to me and stuff like that. And it sounds fucking awesome.
I know just a little bit of Mike's story just because I followed him for a while, even before I read a couple of his books before I actually went. And I know that they got to a point where he has a business partner, Rob Zadati, who he one day came to work and Rob was like, "I'm done." Like, he's like, "What, you going home for a little bit or whatever?" And he's like, "No, I'm done." Because they just were working themselves to the point of burnout. And we've all done this. I did it for years and years and years. Justin did it, for several years as well. And you just get to the point where you're so busy, and so they just decided to make a change. So they went, they visited Zappos, they visited Disney, the Disney Institute, where they teach you how to build a culture, how to run a business, and started implementing these things into their business, and decided they were going to do whatever it took to grow this business. And I think I know Mike always says in 10 years, they did over 200 million, but they ultimately, they wound up exiting the company just last summer for what sounds to be a huge win. And at that point, they were doing like 32 million. I think they had like 190 employees, something like that. So
yeah, they were stuck at the $1 million mark for like 10 years, couldn't get over it, and then all of a sudden changed everything in their world.
That's crazy. That's a crazy success story. And I think,
are they I'm sorry. Are they like just HVAC, or are they one of those like?
They will shine your boots if you pay them.
Yeah. Hey, money's money.
They started out as
Yeah,
electricians.
they did everything.
They started out as electricians, and then slowly, added HVAC, added plumbing, basement foundation, ceiling, sewer lines. Yeah. One day bath remodels.
See, we have a big company around here like that. Well, there's a couple of them. But one of them is the one that I told you, Kelly. I think I might have told Justin this too, that I used to be a supervisor for. And their business model is good, but I guess I'm going to make this statement. I feel like in order to get that big, there has to be some dishonesty. And I know that this is just my opinion, and I know that I'm probably wrong, but I don't know. Just when I see all the big companies, I guess, that I see around here, that's what I see.
That's a small company mentality, man. Because I don't believe that whatsoever. I think that it may feel that way to you, Gil, because, and we've talked about this before, where you see maybe their pricing. And, I even saw, because the company that Mike ran was called Gold Medal. And when we went, he was still owner of Gold Medal. So we were in his building, and I saw one of the prices where they were selling just a 90% furnace. And I about shit my pants when I saw what it sold for, because the ticket, they've got processes and systems in place. The ticket was picked and set with all the materials that went with the equipment to be loaded into the van. And I saw that ticket and I was like, holy shit. But the bottom line is they're only charging what it takes to provide a certain level of service. And that price is way higher than what the guys who, when we're used to being in the smaller company, or we own our small company, we're just not used to those types of prices, because we just don't understand that that's what it takes to hire great people and to operate out of a huge facility, and to be well compensated for what we do.
I mean, I agree with everything that you just said. And to be honest, I'm actually fine with that part. And to be honest, I would like my company to get more like that. Like I've told you that, once my hands get deeper, that I still want this to grow and to do things like that. I guess my only issue is normally when you get bigger companies like that, it has to be more sales oriented. And I just feel like, and like I said, I'm only judging the companies that I've seen, is when a guy goes out for a service call, doesn't even take his tool bag in and takes his selling books with him, to where it just trying to get that sale turns in more than what's doing right for the customer. And I know that they're not all like that. So maybe I should take that statement back. I guess just when I see some of the big guys do that, I don't know. It just kind of makes my stomach turn. And I know that sometimes doing what's right for the customer and doing what's right and what they think is right is two different things. So I get that, but I guess that's just, I don't know. That's always been a mental block for me that I definitely have to change, which is why I wanted to go to that.
What's your first take on that, Justin? Like that statement that Gil just said, what are you thinking?
I think it all begins with your leadership. If you go in there with a mentality and you're training these people who 2 weeks ago they were waiters at Chili's, now you got them selling equipment and dressed up like a technician, you're probably not, the most outstanding, righteous company to begin with. But if you're developing a culture that says we are honest and these people are honest and they believe that, then the sales are going to be a byproduct of that a lot of times. And if you're providing an exceptional service and you're taking care of those people better than anybody else can, then you deserve to be compensated for it.
So my first take, the first thing that I picked out of what you're saying there, Gil, is that where the technician walks into the house with just his clipboard or whatever. So to me, although that's not, it's like unconventional, right? It's not how we were taught. we always, take our tool bag to the front door. But I believe that what that all boils down to is you want to understand, have maybe a deeper understanding of what the customer's problems are. And so that's going to require a conversation. So maybe leaving the tool bag in the truck is a mental thing to keep you from wanting to just run to the furnace and run to the air conditioner to fix it. Maybe it's something so you can have that conversation with the customer, find out what their true needs are, and then serve those needs or give them options, and then let them pick from that point. But I think it's just limiting beliefs, man. We all have them. Like, honestly, when flat rate pricing came up, the company that I worked for, they wanted to jump on it. And I was like, fuck this. I'm not fucking doing it. I just flat told the owner, I'm like, I don't want to do fucking flat rate pricing. Who else felt this way? Did you guys feel this way when flat rate pricing first came in? I felt like it was a way to gouge the customer.
Yeah, I was just drunk speaking nonsense. Sorry. I did a shot of Jack and needed something to talk about. Yeah, I forgot earlier when I put the big penis on the screen. I forgot when I was trying to talk that my microphone was muted. I was wondering why you guys weren't answering me. I'm like, fucking dicks.
I thought you left or something.
Yeah, guys, that's why. Yeah, no. So guys, that's why when they're talking sometimes and they pause, it's because we have a screen that only us three can see, and I'm posting nasty stuff on there, and they have it makes when they see
I
it
lost my train of thought when I was
second.
trying to talk when you posted that shit.
Oh shit, that's funny. Well, I mean, oh shit, do we have I think we lost our friend.
Yeah.
Well, he should be coming back here soon.
Fucking my messenger. I'm trying to update it on my phone, and my phone's not letting me for some reason.
That's what mine's doing. That's what I was trying to tell you that my phone's doing. I got all these people sending me, because that's how a lot of guys would reach out to me.
Messengers.
And they're sending me stuff on. Hey, hello, you're back.
I don't know what happened. It just said lost connection to the server. I had some really good shit I was going to share with the world, but now I'm not telling.
What'd you say?
I said I had some really good stuff I was going to share on your podcast, but now I'm not telling anybody.
Well, you didn't see that contract that Kelly made you sign, so now you're obligated, fucker.
Let's
so
hear
you
it.
Better spit it out.
Nope. I will take these to my grave. It was really good stuff too. Probably would have changed a lot of people's lives, but now I'm not telling.
Yeah, so
that's the exact blueprint that I used to grow my business to 32 million a year, but now I'm not sharing it.
But if you pay a cool payment of $99.95,
or if you just
will
tell
send
me
it to
please
you
in a
via
Facebook
email.
message or something, I'll probably respond.
Yeah, it's like you get those people like the ads when you go on YouTube, and it's like, man, I built $1 million business, by selling products online, and I'm going to tell you absolutely free. We're giving a free class only tonight, but I've seen the same video fucking 8 days in a row, but it's only tonight, and if you click on it, I'll tell you how to do it for free. And then you click on it, it's like,
listen to him, and then you click on it, so it's fucking it's working. And
yeah, but then you click
how many
on
times have you watched this video? How many times have you watched this video?
Every night I click on it.
Yeah, too many times. And then I finally fucking click on it, and then you get to a point and it costs money. It's like, you fucking liar.
It all started with that Ty Lopez one. Here I am in my garage with my
Oh yeah, I've
Awesome
talked about
cars.
I've talked about that guy. Fucking well, me and Kelly have talked about him, and I mean, obviously the guy's doing well, but hey, it's cool if people are trying to help people, but not when it's like, I'm just doing this so I want to give back, and there's my Bentley, and then I really want to give you guys the tool. Yeah, that's my hot ass fucking model wife, and then that's my other wife over there.
So I watched a video. It was kind of like a breakdown of the psychology behind that video, and it got really in depth and kind of leads credence to how smart he really is. All the I guess tactics, if you will, that he used in producing that video, that little selfie video on a cell phone. I'll try to find the link and show you later. It's actually really interesting.
Well, I get it. I mean, because, people want what he has. I mean, guys want to be him. Girls want to fuck him. I mean, I mean, a guy, it's like, yeah, I want to have those cars and I want to live in that kind of house. So, I mean, obviously it's going to grab your attention. And then when he's giving you information that makes sense, it's like, oh shit, this guy's pretty smart. I mean, obviously he knows what he's doing because he has what he has. So, I mean, it's definitely smart what he's doing. I'm not knocking that.
Just ask him.
There's a lot of like testing behind that stuff. So they do like split testing and with different videos and stuff, and they've just figured out what works, man. So like I know, for instance, because I joined ClickFunnels, which is, all the automated shit. Like when you do enter your email. Well, like for the next 7 days, you could get an email from that same person, and it's all automated. But and then it goes even deeper. Like if you don't watch the whole video, then it's going to send this video to you. I mean, they've really got the shit figured out. But I remember looking, because when I signed up for ClickFunnels, they send you a whole bunch of training videos, and it shows you how to go. I cannot remember the website, but you can go and look at, if you want to be like an affiliate, and do affiliate marketing where you promote somebody else's shit, and then you get a kickback from any sales that they make. Because that's how Ty Lopez makes a lot of his money, is affiliate programs. He gives kickbacks to people who advertise his shit anytime somebody buys something. But and that's how a lot of these internet companies have made so much money. But for instance, that video, one of those videos was like 37 minutes long. And so others would take that and you like break down his funnel. How long does it take when you purchase this product? How long does it take to get the next email? What's the next email? What's this page look like? And then people just started mimicking the things that work, and it worked for them. So it's like, don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, it's scary. These people know more about us than we know about us.
Well, plus even the small things. I mean, we've talked about this, Kelly, just how valuable it is having that email base. So when you're giving these people your email and they have thousands upon thousands of emails, I mean, that's valuable just alone in itself. Yeah, because you could sell that to other people who maybe, like, say, for instance, my program, if I built up, 20,000 emails, for which I'm not even, probably not even 300, but let's say I have 20,000. Well, somebody else in our industry who can relate or sells a product that's related to our industry, that list could be valuable to them because it's pretty much their customers. So yeah, it's worth something. Because then they can start marketing their product to your clients, Yeah, well, I told you, man, I have really thought about, and I'm actually almost going to do it, is to get into the affiliate marketing. I have a friend of mine who is very, very successful doing that. All different kinds of things that he, I talked to a friend and a friend of his, the guy who got him into it. And I didn't know how I felt about that guy at first. Just because he just came off kind of like arrogant. But when I see the work that guy's put into what he has now, I'm like, well, fuck, I might be the same way. They're very smart dudes and it works. And then I started, my buddy, he flat out told me, like, because we're so close, he's like, dude, I'm not trying to be a dick. He's like, but because we're friends, I'm trying to offer you an opportunity of a lifetime. He's like, you either take it or you don't. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm not going to kiss your ass over it. He's like, but dude, trust me. He's like, I wouldn't be telling you this if it wasn't legit. And I'm like, well, fuck. Now I feel like an asshole. But it's really got me thinking that it's something I might, gonna do.
I'd learn everything he's got to teach you, man. It's something you can do on the side. You don't have to do it full time and still make a good, portion of money from it if you learn how to do it. I've just never, if I had somebody that's saying, look, I'll teach you how to do this, fuck yeah, I'd jump all over that.
Yeah,
I just haven't been willing to put in the 20 or 40 or 60 or 80 or 120 hours that it's going to take to learn how to do it properly. So I just haven't spent the time to do it. So,
yeah, but even busy people like us, and I got to telling him that, and he was like, you have more free time than you think
Fuck
you do.
yeah.
He's like, how many times do you check Facebook on your phone, or you're taking a shit, you're eating a sandwich for lunch, and you're just sitting there staring at the wall or staring at your phone. He's like, that's the time you start filling in all these things and actually putting knowledge in your brain that's going to be successful to help you towards a goal rather than just wasting it. He's like, so there's time. He's like, and then eventually this stuff's going to interest you enough. You're going to realize it's impacting you to you're going to start pushing the bullshit away, and you're going to keep wanting to, that hunger is going to grow. You're going to keep wanting to feed yourself. He's like, so it'll happen faster than you think. Yeah, he actually got me pumped up. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. I'll fucking quit, bitch. Yeah.
Time is a big excuse that we all have used. It's one of those things that we all have, how many times have we sat and just watched fucking whole series of Netflix or just did pointless, watched football all day on a Sunday or whatever. I mean, it's not going to move the needle for you. So
no, it's the same reason some people are wildly successful and some people don't achieve very much. We all get the same amount of time. Some people just choose to use it more wisely.
Yeah, I mean, and you're only going to get out of something what you put into it. I mean, and that's the way in life. I mean, these people who are young millionaires and stuff like that, it's because they are very driven individuals that they learned about a topic and they found every fucking thing they could learn about it. They failed. I mean, in order to have success, it just means they had more failures than the next guy had, because they had to keep failing in order to achieve it, success. There's a thing that I just shared on Facebook that I really, really like. It's like, I think it's like some kind of Navy admiral who's talking at like a college graduation. And he just talks about, doing small tasks, like you wake up and you make your bed. He's like, it seems so insignificant, but you just want to you complete a small task and then you move on, you do another small task and another small task. And as you start to complete those small tasks, it starts to make the bigger ones seem easier because you're just doing task after task. And the way he explains it is just, it's really motivating. It makes you think like, damn, these things that we think are out of our reach, they're not. I mean, we can reach anything, you just got to, get that ladder, so to speak, to be able to get there and fucking reach it. But we can do anything we want to do. And real fast, guys, I know we're kind of talking about different things, but this is for all you guys too, man, that you could do anything you set your mind to. I know in our line of work, the monotony gets tiresome and gets old, and sometimes we're like, fuck, what are we doing this for, and all that kind of stuff. And me and Kelly have talked about this kind of stuff before, but you guys can do anything you want to do, man. You just got to put in the work to get there. So, and even if it's not HVAC, whatever you want in your life, you put in the work, and
that's actually a super popular book. It's like Go Make Your Bed. So I've not read it yet, but I know it's like crazy amount of reviews on Amazon. I just haven't chosen to buy it yet, but I heard this from Earl Nightingale a long time ago, but he says you're given 1,440 minutes every day. So, and you can take that and make it whatever you want it to be. So, but what he suggests is just taking 1% of your time. 1% of the time that you're given each day, which is 14 minutes. And if you take that 14 minutes and use it for thinking, use it for planning, use it for growth and learning, development, that adds up to about 85 hours per year. Well, that's a lot of time. That's 2 weeks. Think of just 5-day work weeks, a 40-hour work week. That's 2 whole weeks that you did nothing but plan your life, decide what it is exactly that you want. And it's just crazy that we don't take the time to do these things. But it's everything's grabbing our attention. Our phones there's so many fucking alerts on your phone. Every time it goes off, I'm just as guilty as the next guy. I grab it and look at it. If you're sitting at the computer, you're getting alerts at your computer. You get fucking emails, and it's just, everything's vying for your attention. So you have to become aware and ignore that shit or shut it off or leave the phone in the other room, which I'm not. I'm fucking hypocrite here, but I have spent a good fair amount of time just thinking about what I want. So, it's a fun thing to do. I just did a video, made it for my series, but I'm probably going to release it. But it's just on mind mapping. It's the craziest thing. Sunday morning, I woke up like I was, that dream state right before you wake up where you can remember what you were dreaming and you were kind of awake, but not all the way awake. So I had that Sunday morning, and it was about mind maps, which is fucking stupid, but
you really need to take a break, man.
Yeah, no shit. So, and I haven't thought about it, haven't read anything about it, haven't seen anything about it in probably a couple years. But so I had to make a video on it, and I had to do it. I got up that morning, Sunday morning, because I get up before everybody else, and for 2 hours I just played with a mind map. I just started with, in the center was my perfect life. And then I started breaking it down on everything that it would take for me to have an ideal, perfect life. But it was fun, and I learned something from it. So I did a video on it. I'll share it this weekend. So after the podcast releases, then people can go check it out.
Nice. I always have dreams about winning the lottery.
Are you broke in 2 years?
Yeah, I'm like millions of other people after that 1.6 billion, and you woke up and saw somebody in South Carolina won. And you're like, fuck this, man. I'm not going to work. This is bullshit.
You're not going to work because somebody else won the lottery.
Yeah, because I was just frustrated,
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about what you would do with that if you really did hit it, 100 mil, something like that?
Oh, dude, I got that shit broken down fucking to the penny of what I would do with it. I got a blueprint of everything. All the people I'd tell to go fuck themselves, all the people I would help, where I would fucking, the banks I would use, fucking. Like I tell you, I have trouble sleeping sometimes. So
the local strip club would love me.
Yeah.
It'd be like, cheers, Gil! Every time he walks in.
Fucking walk down the street, I'm like blowing my nose like $100 bills. Like, here, you want that? You know what I mean? Start giving it to bums.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Gil.
Like, hey man, here, you want my snot rag? But yeah. But fuck, man, I was trying to think of how long we were recording or how long the podcast is, because we were recording for a half an hour before we actually.
You can't release any of that.
Counted the podcast, but let's start wrapping. Yeah, no, that's all secret stuff that we can't talk about, or we're all going to.
I'm just letting y'all know if they knock on my door, I'm squealing like
you
a
guys,
pig.
Or at least me. So you guys,
I can't do any time. You've seen how pretty I am.
Oh man, you fucking stool pigeon. Bullshit. Justin's little tight ass going to be getting stretched
I'd
out
be
in there,
walking around
boy.
with a wire.
You're gonna have
Abracadabra.
Big Bad Cheeseburger Man behind you. Come here, boy. Gotcha, bitch. But real fast, man, let's go ahead and try to answer this question. Since the guy sent it to me in email, I'm not going to give his full name or his company, what he goes by. But his name is Chris, and he sent this question to me and Kelly. Says, Gil and Kelley, I know you guys are busier than hell with your own companies and lives, but I just had a couple of questions. Our company is currently booming right now, good and bad problems. We are booked past Thanksgiving. We are only a two-man shop and one in the office. We just recently cracked our $1 million in annual revenue for replacement sales. With that being said, at what point are you all hiring more people? I know we should have more, but is there a revenue number, so to speak, per truck or man? With that being said, when you hired more guys, did you increase your spending on marketing? And then he says, sorry for all the questions. I honestly could go on and on. He's talking about it's a great podcast and we're the best fucking podcast ever. Yes, thank you, sir.
Good answers.
I agree with you. Yeah. And then he says, this is funny. P.S. We bought that heat exchanger book you were talking about. When it arrived, I was like, what the fuck is this little ass thing for $150? After reading through it, I would have paid $300 for it. Great find. So thank you, Chris, man. I appreciate that email, dude. I'm going to let you go first, Kelly.
Thanks.
Being a gentleman.
Thanks. So, I mean, $1 million in revenue just in replacement. I'm guessing that there's some extra, a couple hundred, 300, 400 grand just in repair. Probably 30% or so of that. So I would say at least 300,000 in repair, maybe 40% at the most. So, I think that, yeah, by the time I was or am doing what you're doing, we're 10 people doing this. So I'm not sure. I think that you definitely need people. If you're that booked up, I don't think you probably need to market, do a bunch of marketing. Why would you need to market if you're so busy? Unless you're just busy in the moment, and once this passes, you're going to be dead for 2 months. So I wonder if that's what you're predicting, because it sounds like you got plenty of work and probably don't even have to market to be able to hire somebody. So I don't think there really is a number. I don't particularly have a number. It's one of those things where with the different avenues of on the internet type style marketing, different things that you can pay for, pay-per-click, pay-per-call, that type of thing. I think it's given us a little bit, and I don't want to anybody have a false sense of security with this, but you have a little bit of control over how many times your phone rings now, where you didn't used to have that. So you can always ramp that up and start getting the phone to ring more. You just have to make sure to close, book the service call. And then when you get out there, actually sell something or sell a repair, whatever the case, like our good friend Ethan said, even just selling the repair, that's a sell. So don't take me wrong when I say sell something, but, yeah, I think that you have a little bit more control over that we didn't used to have. So I believe that I don't know what you're waiting for. Like I would have hired people a long time ago. You obviously have the revenue for it. If you're not profitable, then, and you're worried about like running out of cash because you're doing all this work, but there actually is no money. I hope that's not the case, but always could be. then you'll have to raise your rates when you hire somebody to make sure that you don't run out of money now that you've added more to the cost of goods sold, or if you have office people or whoever you're hiring that's going to add to the overhead, make sure that you can cover those people. But I don't know what else to say on it. I just think that, man, I would have hired somebody a long time ago. I'm not sure what you're waiting for. What it sounds like to me is you're eventually going to burn out, absolutely burn out, or get hurt. And then what happens? And one thing that Mike says that's extremely valuable is he says one of anything is none. So if you've got one service tech, one installer, you might as well have none, because if anything happens to that person, they could be driving to work and get sideswiped. Well, then what? Now you're dead in the water. That job can't get done. It can't even begin to get done because you're down a vehicle and maybe the guy got hurt. So you need to rapidly start duplicating yourself. And not sure how long you've been in business, but I hope it's not years and years and years, because you could have had several guys that you could have trained from nothing by now, because it's really difficult to find super skilled people who will fit in your culture. It's not that the skilled people aren't out there, but the ones that will actually follow your processes and fit in your culture, they're a little more rare. So get on it, man. Hire somebody. Don't worry about the bottom line. Are we making money or not? And stop waiting. Just get with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. You got something there, Texas? You want to chime in, my friend?
Texas.
Yeah, I would. I'll tell a story about that later. But I would say, he says his business is booming, for good and bad. He's got 2 people and $1 million in replacement sales. It sounds like he's done a great job of either marketing himself, getting referrals, and his business sounds sustainable at this point. So I would say, absolutely get some help, man. Take some of that stress off your shoulders. You've worked hard, obviously, to get to this point. You don't have to do it alone. And that's a mistake I made for so long, was thinking that I had to. And your quality of life just goes to shit. Congratulations, you made a shit ton of money. You have this awesome business and your wife left you. That's no life. That's what my 2 cents is. I don't know that it's a dollar amount. Obviously, have a budget and try to keep your labor in line where you'd like to see it fall, so that you can have some earnings at the end of the year. But most importantly, your business exists to serve you, not you to serve your business. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
about that.
I agree with everything you guys said. First of all, I mean, being at grossing or being at $1 million in replacement sales, being a 2-man shop. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wonder how you got there. I don't know if you do, like we were talking earlier, if you do like some commercial stuff in there. I mean, because some big commercial jobs can boost that number up. And then the other thing is, okay, that's what you have in revenue, but what do your profit margins look like? Are you making that kind of the profits that you want? And are you getting every job? Because you don't want to get every job. If you're getting every job, you're too cheap. So make sure you're pricing out all your stuff right, which, I mean, obviously you're doing something right to be at $1 million in revenue. So touche to you there, bud. But like Kelly said, you definitely have to hire more people. You're definitely at the point where you need to start bringing in the right people. So I don't like to use the term mass hire, but you definitely need to open the doors and start bringing some people in and building your team, because you have the workflow to be able to keep people busy and try to take some workload off of you. The other thing is, I forgot where I was going there for a second. The advertising. My advertising doesn't really change, just because we all know that we have seasonal work and we're busy, but that advertising is trying to have, sustainable growth and constant busy all year round, which is hard to do. But It's being able to constantly get that new customer and make them a long-term customer, so that you guys are you have enough people that you're able to get to calls in a reasonable manner. You can get them quickly, service them, whether it's repair it, replace it, and be able to take the time to make that customer happy so they stay a customer. Not that where you get out there, you're able to get it done, but shit, maybe I missed something, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't, besides what these guys said, that's the most that I can probably give you, man. I wish we could help you more, but congratulations on your business being successful. I mean, definitely congratulations on that.
Now, was his question, did it say something to the effect of, at what revenue amount should I hire another helper or something like that?
Let's see. We just cracked $1 million plus sales. With that being said, at what point are you hiring more people? I know we should have more, but is there a revenue number, so to speak, per truck or man? With that being said, when you hired more guys, did you increase your spending on marketing?
So I think Kelly would agree with this, that you always want to watch your labor percentage to sales. Just to kind of go back a little bit and try to give him a little bit more of a direct answer, you should always watch your labor percentage as it relates to sales, and whatever that number is for you, 20, 25%. If you're meeting that number, then, or let's say you're crushing that number, let's say you're at 8% of labor, you can afford help. But have a clear understanding of what that number is, and what it means 100%. To you, and understand the burden of that number.
So here's another thing I can tell you is that their HVACR Business Magazine, there was an article. It was really just a chart that was made by a guy named Jackie Rainwater. I think it's a guy. And it's just a key performance indicator. So if you just search online, key performance indicators, HVACR business, bring up this PDF and print this PDF, and it's going to tell you whatever the revenue you're doing in your company. So let's say this guy is doing 1,400,000. So right here it says what's an acceptable KPI is 120,000 per coworker. And that includes everyone on the payroll. So you could just do, if he's doing 1.4 million divided by 2, that's 700,000 per person. That's ridiculous. Like, it's not even, it doesn't even seem possible. I mean, so absolute kudos to you, brother, because you're kicking ass. But man, it's time to hire somebody before you wind up getting sick or something, just from the stress and pressure that you're putting on yourself. So, but these key performance indicators, although this is a relatively old article, I just took a class a couple weeks ago, and they brought this same piece of paper up, and they're like, these still hold true today. So I believe that they do. An excellent run company, you could, if you're 140,000 per coworker, that's every individual within your company. So if you're like whatever, 160, 170, 180, then you're well beyond excellent. You can afford to hire somebody. And if for any reason you're not making money still, then there's other things that are broken, and you probably already know what those are. It's just taking the time to sit down and fix them, whether it be processes, systems, sales process, whatever the case. But check key performance indicators out, HVACR business, and print that thing and put it on your wall and use those numbers to bounce off of your company's numbers and see where you're at. And that's going to give you an idea. And it even tells you how much how much you should be spending on advertising. So use them. Super valuable information right there. What the fuck are you laughing at?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I agree with everything you just said, man. I was gonna say the same exact thing, but you beat me to it.
Oh, you were typing shit.
Yeah.
I was looking at the other screen. So,
but yeah, no, that's great information, man. And I hope that
Stay tuned for
I hope
part two.
that helps you, man. I really do, and more power to you and your business. But sadly, after 2 hours of recording, this thing is gonna have to start coming to an end. So first
it's
and
gonna be
foremost,
a long podcast. Yeah.
yeah, fuck it, they'll be all right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So first, before we close this thing out, man, Mr. Texas, fucking thank you, man, for coming on, bro. This is awesome. And like we said before, man, kudos to you for what you're doing, man. It's awesome. I'm proud of you out there, man, fucking getting shit going. We definitely have to talk more and not just be your carrier tech support. So that's when Justin calls me like, dude, I'm on this carrier and this thing's fucked up. What's going on, dude? But
I have made that call a few times.
But yeah, kudos to you, man. I'm so happy you finally came on. This has been another really, really fun podcast to record. I love doing stuff like this, and you know, without a doubt, that you're welcome here anytime, man.
Guys, thank y'all sincerely. I had a blast. I really did. Thank y'all so much for letting me come on here. And Gil's always a true professional, 100% of the time. I'm sitting here still reading some of his messages to me on here, and just he's just an all-star.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, dude, I want to pat myself on the back. He's just talking nice about me. I got a little chubby there, Texas. Damn, man.
I'm just sitting here reading your messages to me, and you just always keep it professional. I'm just floored.
Hey, man, I like to be very detailed in what I do, and I just try to explain things to the best of my ability, you know, just kind of step by step, stroke by stroke, you know what I mean? Just
your ability to
just
relay
making sure that I explain things in a good manner. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But all right, guys, we've been going on forever, man, and this has been so much fun, man. This really, really has. But let's go ahead and close this out, Kel.
One thing that we forgot to say, I think, at the beginning is which episode this was. Is this 18?
Actually, we didn't. It's episode 18.
Okay.
I know what the fuck I'm doing, Kelly.
Okay. I didn't think we said that. So I just want to thank Justin for coming on as well. Super proud of him. He's gonna build a freaking empire down in Texas. So thank you everybody who listens. Thanks for continuing to explode the Facebook group. I mean, we've grown crazy amounts. I know we were just talking about this before we started, but I accepted a whole bunch of people in over the weekend as well. I'm sure you did too. It's like, it's just growing. And so is the podcast growing like crazy. So thank you everybody, each and every one of you. Until next time, go make money.
Yeah, guys, we appreciate each and every one of you guys, man. Like Kelly said, we probably had like 300 people over the weekend, and I don't know where it came from, but we appreciate all you guys. The downloads, as far as the podcast, is doing great, man. Like we really couldn't be happier, and it's all to you guys. I mean, we're just a couple of guys that do the same thing you do with a microphone, and that's all we are. And we appreciate you guys. We appreciate your support for listening to us to be able to make this thing possible. So, to all you new guys that come into the group, man, type and be involved in it. You know what I mean? Like we want to hear what you have to say. Post picture of your work, stuff like that. But yeah, guys, we thank you. You guys know you can always check the podcast out on all the major podcast apps, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. Google Play should be okay. If it's not, please let me know. SoundCloud, Spotify. We have our website, www.hvacuncensored.com. You guys can always reach us at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. And then we're on Instagram and Facebook. So I will let that go. As always, guys, like I said, we appreciate you. You guys, you can always do whatever you set your minds to. Keep driving yourself every day. Always make it home the same way you left. and always do what the next guy's not doing. Put in the work, get the results. But until next week, I will talk at you fuckers later. Peace.
Peace, bitches.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.